Yeah, don't be a coward. I'm always showing my face. Y'all know who I am. Okay. Now, Tom, I am streaming live, and so I'm going to test to make sure that audio is working on all sides this time. Tom, I am streaming live, so I'm going to test to make sure that audio is working on all sides this time. Still not happening.
Create action. It's to walk away with the next event on your calendar of what you're going to do. So it's either going to be to dispel, push away, to leave them alone, or to, in essence, become attractive and make an appointment and 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 talk. I've been doing normally have wasted my time. When I say wasted my time, I mean would have sent me down a rabbit hole trying to convince them to prove to them, do a spreadsheet for them when they had no intent. So when I teach the course, the explanation of services, and David, if you want to put that in the chat box, there's a 30-day opportunity to actually take the course. It's online. You print the workbook. It's normally people. It amazes me when I say we should start with something that we believe. And it amazes me how many people in our industry don't have a belief. We don't know what to believe. We believe life insurance is pretty good, but so is an annuity, and so is a mutual fund, and so is your mother. And we really don't know how to differentiate between what we can act upon or what we should be trying to prove. So when I was teaching the explanation of services, a couple things happened in the story. This is just repetitive. If not, this will be new. But in 2013, I was introduced to Simon Sinek's 18-minute video on YouTube, TED Talk, Start With Why. I was also given a book, The Challenger Sale, and I hired a personal business coach. And really, I hired the coach for one purpose, to keep white noise away from me, distractions. The older I get, the more fine-tuned, the more focused I am, because I have a job to do. I know clarity now better than ever before in my career. So it was imperative for me to not only figure out what I wanted to do, hypnotized into our dresses the same, says the same thing, and we wonder why we all have the same mediocre lifestyle. Well, I've always tried to be unique in this business. When I got my license almost 50 years ago, I wanted to have a different message, and I wanted to be more impactful with my clients. I do have a belief. So we actually have a course. It's called The Curve, and we're still trying to develop that more about this later, but what we're trying to do is identify not only the traits, the personality traits of highly successful people, but to break it down in its most simple terms. Supposedly, I cannot teach you passion nor drive. Supposedly, I think I can. And I think I can by helping you understand what you believe. Now, when I ask people, why are you in this business? It's usually because I want to be successful. I want to drive a nice car. I want to live on this side of town. And those are goals. Those aren't beliefs. And there's a difference. Everyone should have a goal. Everyone should have a goal. For if you have none, you are already there. Think about that. If you don't have a goal, you've already succeeded. You're right where you should be. Have no clue because you don't want to know. So the explanation of services is really designed to find people who would have normally wasted my time or find people who believe what I believe. The most powerful statement to me in Simon Sinek's conversation is people don't care what you do. They want to know why you do what you do, because what you do simply proves what you believe. Well, if I don't have a belief statement, I sort of sound like someone else. We have a very unique approach to selling life insurance. We make it a want rather than a need, and we help people understand the implications of the financial choices they've already made. So if I can help you understand where you're going, isn't where you were thinking, help you understand. Think of an old wagon wheel. The old wagon wheel that had the wooden spokes. There's this wooden knuckle that is attached to the axle. That's your belief statement. That's what you firmly believe. And all those wooden spokes that come off it are really eloquent conversations that you can have supporting what it is that you believe. My job when I meet someone is to find out what they believe, because I already know what I believe. And I will no longer change who I am to appease someone I don't even know if I like. When I first started, I was taught to identify whether you were amiable, analytic, expressive, or driver, and then I was to change who I was so that I could attract someone that I don't even like. I don't do that anymore. So when I meet someone for the first time, my goal is to show authentic curiosity in them. Here's the secret to having a wonderful explanation of services. I'm the buyer in this relationship. I'm not selling anything. I'm buying. And if I don't like you, I will be darned if I'm going to show you how you can achieve financial independence with the information that's in my head. I don't give it away, and I don't just sparingly throw it around. I want to find out if we are alike on several factors. For example, if we're observing a couple who are in an argument and one talks poorly of the other, and then they walk over to you with the checkbook with $1 billion in cash in it, I hope you can walk away from that transaction. If that's not the personality of the person you want to work with, walk away. I am the buyer. I want to show authentic curiosity in what they do. Now, normally, when I do that, the conversation will automatically come back to me with saying, okay, Tom, what is it that you do? The minute that happens, I own the rest of the conversation. I know exactly what I'm going to say. I know the end. Now, they don't have a clue what I'm going to do. I do, because what I have in my head has been memorized. Now, to several of you, last time I memorized something was second grade, John Glenn circling the earth. That was my first attempt at memorizing something. And I remember how nervous I was. And when I tell people in our group, you need to memorize your delivery so it gives you the privilege to observe the response. Think about what most people do. They ask you, what do you do for a living? And most people panic. I want to look at your wrist because I want to see what type of watch you have. I look at your shoes. I'm trying to recall the car that you drove in to see me so I can assess who you are. Dumbest thing in the world you could do. When you study truly successful people, you will find a couple of commonalities. Number one, there's always a process they follow all of the time. And they don't deviate from that just because they think who you might be. And they use specific words. I do too. I own the delivery. I know exactly what I'm going to say so I can watch the reaction from you. Now, if I see that you are glazed over and you don't have any interest in what it is that I do, I will not go any further. I'm done. However, if I look in your eyes and I tell you why I do what I do and you show interest, I own the rest of the conversation. Then we're going to discuss what you believe. I believe in paying income taxes once. I believe where your money is so much more important than anything it could earn. I believe if you understood the implications of the financial choices you've already made, you would change course in a heartbeat. I believe the financial services industry is broken. I have a much better way, and I can prove it. Now, that's my belief statement. And from that, I can have wonderful conversations to find people who believe as I do. My job of convincing, chasing, or proving to someone is gone. I won't do that anymore. You have one opportunity to see the benefit of working with me. One, if you don't find that there's a benefit in working with me, I'm okay with that. Part ways, goodbye. But please, don't ask me how I bought my Bentley. You won't get it. You won't understand the process. It won't make any sense to you. Now, when I deliver that, let me give you my explanation of services. There's three parts to it, and there are three distinctly different parts to it. My explanation of services is as follows. I have never had more fun in my life as I am right now, helping people understand the financial implications of the choices they've already made and helping them understand the options that they can have so that if they followed what it is that I know, they could retire and not even have to file a tax return. On average, our firm finds $30,000 to $50,000 a year in wealth that people are losing every year because they don't understand how taxes, fees, or interest works. Now, if I just sat down with you in 10 minutes and found $10,000 of your money that was slipping through your hands, would you want it back? Now, I can't imagine anybody saying no to that. But if they do, man, I'm okay with saying no. I'm going to give you two examples, two diametrically opposed examples of me giving an explanation of services on an airplane, flying first class. So the first, I'm on a flight from Atlanta to Fort Lauderdale. And I'm going down to teach 27 financial advisors how to get their clients well. I'm about to put my headset on because I love listening to classical music. I love listening to Yanni and others like that. And I zone out and and this person sitting next to me, a very fine looking, well-dressed gentleman, looked at me and said, "So what do you do for a living?" Now, I had just finished the book, The Explanation of Services, how to answer the question, what do you do for a living? So I looked at him, I pointed my finger. I'm not asking anyone to do this. As a matter of fact, I recommend you don't. I took my finger, I pointed it to him, and I said, I teach people just like you how to accumulate as much wealth as you want off the radar screen of the IRS for income tax purposes using the federal tax code. And he looked at me and he said, what? What? And I started laughing. I said, I've never had more fun. I'm just teaching the people how to use the tax code for the first time in their life and build wealth that's not going to be subject to any income taxes. And he says, my God, would you teach me? Now, again, my definition of being a person of interest is to be scarce. I looked at him and said, no. He said, you're not going to tell me how to do this? And I said, sir, please, with no disrespect intended at all, my clients are financial advisors. As a matter of fact, I'm flying to Fort Lauderdale to teach 27 of them how to get their clients' wealth off the radar screen of the IRS. And he goes, well, funny you should mention that. I have several friends in the back. 4 of them are financial advisors. We're going to go fly fishing in Key West. Would you teach them? And I said, heck no. I'm not going to teach them. He says, let me get this straight. You're not going to share this with me? And I said, please don't. My clients are financial advisors. They're not clients. Now, people, I'm not stupid. Today he would be a client, but I wanted to prove something. See, I did not call Delta and say, Delta, I'm in seat 4D. Do me a favor. Put someone in 4C who has a lot of money, is insurable, and wants to buy a lot of life insurance. Please make that happen for me. So he looked at me and he said, let me tell you who you're talking to. Now, I'm not an idiot. I knew what was happening. I knew what was going to happen. He looked at me and he said, this is what I do for a living. And he told me, and I looked at him and smiled, and I said, you're rich. And he said, yes, I am. And I said, this would be perfect for you. He said, it sounds like it. And you're not going to tell me? No. Now, the man followed me to baggage claim wanting a business card. Here's my point. Today, he would have been a client, but I wanted to prove to myself that having something to say in the right manner was so much more important than finding someone to buy my stuff. Now, today, as I said, he would be a client. Now I'm having a lot of fun talking about how to turn somebody away. Now, I'm going to give you another example. This is another first-class flight, this time from Nashville to Dallas. And the woman sitting next to me is dressed to the nines. She's flying to speak as a head speaker in Tokyo at a women's organization. She had a diamond on her finger the size of a quarter. Ladies, that's a single diamond. It's not a bunch. One diamond the size of a quarter. It's an hour and 50-minute flight, so I figured, you know what? This is going to be a fun trip. We started talking about all kinds of things, and the conversation turned around to Simon Sinek, and my income has quadrupled since hearing his TED Talk. Start with why. And she said, so why is he so important to you? And I said, well, what is your why? And out of go. And I said, I want to teach people how the tax code actually works, how wealth truly works, so that if they were to follow what it is that I know, they could retire and not even have to file a tax return. And I thought I nailed it. Within 1/8 of a second, she looked at me and said, what if we don't mind paying taxes? Now, I wanted to throw up. I did. I vomited in my mouth, and I said, enough. Now, here's what I would have done 5 years ago. I would have gotten her email. I would have gotten her physical address. I would have sent her a leather-bound binder with every financial product invented by man, hoping to get a piece of business. I looked at her and I said, we're not a good fit. Now, as she's leaving, she's putting her coat on, and she looks at me and she says, so what do you think about Dave Ramsey? And I looked at her and smiled and said, the funny thing is, I don't think about him at all. Now, when we look at what we're trying to accomplish, again, my goal with an explanation of services is to identify people who believe what I believe. I write hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in federal income taxes. I can't stand paying them, but I'm not going to prison because I don't want to pay them. I'm going to pay them. But for me to not worry about all the money that's being wasted by me sending this money, I can't tolerate people who I don't mind paying taxes. I don't mind paying taxes either for worthwhile causes. But some of the stuff that my taxes are going for, I'll never see the money back. There are 3 parts to an explanation of services. 3, and only 3. The first is a statement of fact, led by some words like, I believe. Now, when we talk about statement of fact, what I'm talking about is something that you do in your line of work that you are passionate about. For example, we all start off as president of our own company where we wash the windows, take out the garbage, and sell the insurance. Now, I don't think in chronological order, that's what you want to do every day. But when I ask you to write down everything you do, some you're going to love, some you will tolerate, and some you despise. But when I have you in front of me and I'm trying to know a little bit more about you, I will ask you, what are you passionate about? You know what's going to happen? Your body language is going to change. Your demeanor is going to change. You're going to lean forward, you're going to smile, and you might even laugh. And you might tell me with passion what it is that you really enjoy doing. So you want to lead off with a passionate statement. Now listen carefully. Words matter. However, the right words matter more. But the right words that are shared passionately absolutely matter the most. So when we start understanding the impact of the words that we use we're going to be cautious to the types of words that we do use. The second part is an example of what you have done for someone else. Can you imagine my why statement? I want to, so that worded like, I want to make a big sale in life insurance so that I can buy a Rolls Royce. And try to get someone to buy into that? That's not going to work. So the example has to be worded where someone else benefited more than you. And then the last part is a question. Now, if I could do the same thing for you, can we get together next week? Again, I'll say my explanation of services. I've never had more fun than I'm having right now in my life, helping people understand how wealth truly works. On average, our firm finds between $30,000 and $50,000 a year in wealth that slips through their hands because they don't understand taxes, fees, or interest. Now, if I sat down with you in just 10 minutes and identified $10,000 you could have back, would you want it back? Now, when they say yes, you know what you do? Great. When? This is why the explanation of services demands action. And you've given it correctly, you will have the privilege now of setting an appointment. Or what if we don't mind paying taxes? Run. I don't know what it is that you do. I don't know what your belief is, but if you can lead with what you believe and you can share it passionately, you will find people who are attractive to that. Those are the clients you want, because I no longer want to get a phone call on a Friday afternoon at 4:00 looking at caller ID going, oh crap, it's you. I don't want to do that anymore. And the problem with that, you took that person. There was a time in the courting process you should have recognized they don't believe what you believe. Those types of people will never call you on a Friday afternoon begging you to go back to the office and do something for them. Because remember, you said to them, I'm going to bend over backwards. I'm going to earn your business. I'll do whatever it takes to get your business. No. Do you think your advocate would ever call you on a Friday at 4:00 and ask you anything other than stop? When we start analyzing that we are in control of the outcome, my favorite quote in the group, you're about to get a pay raise. It becomes effective the day you can be. Half off on the code. The code is, and it's the professionals. That's going to talk about that in a second. It's theexplanationofservices.com. It's normally $397, but if you do want to take the course, they talk about the toxic words that you don't want to use. We talk about passion points, formal setting, social setting, and referral setting. Each of these examples of explanation of services are different, and everything we do has an objective. While I have you thinking about what you could ask me, what's over my head here is the Professionals Forum. This is an event I'm hosting here in Nashville, Tennessee, a month from now, February 15th through the 17th. These are the speakers that I have coming. It's Van Miller, Jim Ruda, Tom Hagna, Cody Askins. Oh gosh, I got to blow that thing up. Mary Jo Ehrman, Sandy Chazelle. And really, there's no selling of books or DVDs or CDs on stage, none of that. It's actually some of the best storytellers in the world. I want to spend the rest of my life making the choice of financial services career the most professional. There's no reason we need to lie. There's no reason we need to fib or not nominal product. And I have some of the best storytellers in the industry that are going to be here in be at the country music opportunity to be rubbing shoulders with the sponsors and the presenters. And then 8 o'clock in the morning, and we finish Friday at about 3 o'clock. But some of these people are, I mean, Van Miller makes top of the tables. So I'm sure if you can show up, you'll have the ability to, on a break, as Tom Hagna says, on a break, be able to go out and make an appointment or probably even a sale during the actual meeting itself. This is what I want to spend the rest of my life doing. This, I want to have this event in Nashville every year. The Bridgestone Arena is kitty corner from the Country Music Auditorium. Country Music Auditorium holds 600 people. Bridgestone holds 18,000. My goal is to make this event larger than the $1 Million Roundtable, because I believe having the ability to make life insurance a want rather than a need, it's so much easier to create an environment, for me anyway, conducive where people want to buy life insurance than trying to convince someone why they should, or use classy, goofy sales language to convince them why they should. Show of hands, who learned something today? Cool. Cool. All the people that have turned their cameras off, I'm sure you've raised your hand as well, right? Feel like I got half the class. Oh, there, Stephen. Did you learn a bunch? Or you're muted. There
Yeah. Yes, I did. Thank you for letting me join.
You bet. Is this the first time you've heard me?
I've seen you on a couple of YouTubes, and then I've seen David over there on the other window. I saw an invitation to this thing in Nashville. I'm just trying to sort through. Yeah. Yes, I've heard you speak before, but not like this, not live now.
And that's one of the reasons 500 people around him. Well, here it's a very small venue right now. And so to be able to sit down and have a drink or a cup of coffee with a Van Miller or a Tom Hagna, Tom's going to be he's going to be flown in via Zoom because he's in an area that is not very conducive to technology, but everybody else is going to be here in person. And when you talk to Turner Thompson, who's been in the business over 50 years, when he goes into a room, I mean, all the eyes go right to him. And the way he talks, I mean, how he can make you feel like the most important person in the world. These things you can learn. One thing that Hagna even said, this is the only producers meeting put on by producers. We do have an insurance company or two that's sponsoring it, but all they're going to do is go up on stage and introduce their speaker. That's it. I don't want a lot. There's no product mentioned. There's no company name mentioned. This is all about the industry, how to make the industry a want rather than a need. When I started 46 years ago, the average age of the insurance industry was 57. You know what it is today? 57. We need young people in this audience. We really do. And this is the most complicated career choice, but it doesn't have to be. If I could teach you how to talk, how to communicate, how to make life insurance a want, then you don't have to wait 40 years to succeed. You can do it a heck of a lot sooner. What are some takeaways that you got from today? Talk to me. Let me know what are your thoughts? Is it Cynthia? Is that, did I blow that name all to heck?
It's Cynthia.
Cynthia, see?
Yes.
I blew it. I saw your head shaking up and down a lot. What was going through your head?
Because I agree with making life insurance a want versus trying to get people to really understand how beneficial it is to them. The other thing is that I like how you communicate your explanation of services, and you're so strong in the sense that you are willing to reject certain people and you know who to reject.
I wonder why that is. I mean, that only took 40 years to get there. I wonder why you shouldn't have to wait 40 years on your side to get there. When you think about, we really are the buyer in this relationship. We really do have the choice of turning people away if we don't like them. And yet we've been taught by management to like everybody and go out and write everybody. And I think that's the dumbest thing we could do. And if you think about it, Cynthia, if we had all of our clients to the same cocktail party, you would have 4 cliques going on. You'd have to wear 4 different color coats to go talk to those people and talk to them in the way they like to be talked to, and then go talk to those people over there who don't understand why that group even exists. They don't get it. So they won't talk to one another, but you've been taught to be someone who you're not, so that you can attract someone you don't like. Please help me understand why management still says that's the solution. I don't get it.
It's also a different, I would say, pitch, so to speak, that you would have with someone who's Latino and they, they're make under $60,000 versus you're talking to someone who is in real estate and they're making $160,000. Like the pitch, the way you come off and what you need to say is totally different.
I disagree.
You think so? You disagree?
I tell you why. Because
I feel like what's important to them is different.
Well, but doesn't everybody aspire to make more money eventually and live a comfortable life? See, your definition of success isn't a number. Somebody making 60, successful to them might be 100. Somebody making $1 million, success to them might be 10 million. But I would argue the person who makes 100 is more concerned about a dollar bill than somebody making $1 million. And if the person you're talking to makes 60,000 can't afford to really and fully engage in the strategy, maybe their parents can, maybe their best friend can. So I don't alter what I say or to whom I say it to. It's exactly the same thing, because I believe everybody would love to learn legally how to pay less income taxes using the government's rules. Everybody. It might not be a big sale, but I don't care. I don't care. When we get to the point where we have a strong belief statement, I'd like you all to write this down. If you really want to test that size of that knuckle, that center of the wagon wheel, you must be able to say these 5 sentences, and you're going to fill in the rest. This is what I believe. This is why I believe what I believe. This is to whom I wish to share what I believe. And this is the benefit somebody gets once they do business with me. Do you believe as I do? When you can put your thought processes down in that fashion, where everything we do is a spin-off of those 5 sentences, man, you could stand in a room of anyone, any race, any demographic, any income level, any net worth level, and become a person of interest. Be careful, though, that we don't change who we are because of the size of your watch or the maker of your shoes. A sale is a sale. A client is a relationship. I want a lot of clients. Some will, some won't. So what? Right? John Childs, how about you, sir? What are you
Put me
thinking?
on the spot. I love it. So
Join the club.
yeah, no kidding. So I've seen you speak a couple times, and my career has kind of gone through an arc where I've recently become 100% independent again. And so I kind of got on just to refresh my understanding of how you approach prospects, because I'm really kind of struggling currently to answer the question, what do you do? And that is my primary way of finding clients currently.
I would suggest you not buy a list of rich, stupid people. That
No, I'm
list
not
does
doing that.
exist.
Right.
List does not exist. But I encourage you to do something that you love to do. I collect cars. I've got, I think, 27 cars, 28 cars. I don't know, I've lost count. and I like going to car clubs. And my daughter built or had made for me a chair that on the back says, "Ask me what I do for a living." All it says. So I sit down in front of my car and I'm watching the people go by, and I'll be asked, "Well, what do you do for a living?" And all I'm doing is fishing. Some will, some won't. I don't know who I'm talking to, but people who usually collect cars usually have a little bit of extra spendable money. And those are the people I would like to aspire to, but that doesn't necessarily mean they have it.
Sure.
So do something you love to do, whether it's woodworking, I collect fountain pens. So, if I can go to a fountain pen show, I'd love to do that kind of stuff too. Hunt, shoot bow and arrow, whatever it is, that's sponsor something. Go to the American Chiropractors Association, get a booth and do it more than once.
So that's something I was actually kind of tossing around. I play a lot of golf, and there's a golf show here in town, I think in 2 or 3 weeks.
So here's the only problem with that. You got to learn to stop talking, because golf is 5 freaking hours. and it's and in essence, my job is golf course. When you on the first hole, when you start teasing somebody and they go, "Man, I want to do this," what are you gonna do for the next 4.5 hours? But if you love golf, then sponsor golf, sponsor a hole. It's easy. Something golf's 36 holes a day, and he'll go to the golf course and just hook up with somebody. That's his prospecting. That's all he does. 36 holes a day, which is why he lives in Florida, but he summers in Michigan. A little bit of difference there, 30 degrees below or 30 inches of snow, or yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, because right now I'm in Ohio and kind of football territory, and I played football. I love watching football. The majority of the people I've talked with over the last 2 months have been meeting at a bar watching a football game. So
are you a Michigan fan?
This conversation's over. I'm leaving. Say you're sorry. Say you're sorry, Tom.
I am not a Michigan fan either. So we are a lot alike in that regard.
No, I went to the Ohio State University. So
I would imagine. My favorite team is Michigan State.
That's all right.
And when you talk about rivalries, I mean, you guys, Ohio and Michigan's the game of the year, but Michigan State is more of a rivalry. Not for viewership, but for bragging rights in the state. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I agree with that, but I'm down south.
That's because and you played for that scarlet and gray school. Isn't it red and gray? Oh no, I can't do that.
No.
Yeah. When did you graduate?
I graduated right after Tressel won the national championship.
Dang, cool. Do you have your ring?
Oh, I didn't play for him. No, I didn't play in college. I played in
Oh.
high school. No. Yeah.
I see. And you're still a Buckeye fan. Okay. All right.
For life, baby.
Yeah. That's true. Once, always. Bennett Leiser, how about you, sir? Welcome aboard. And I haven't talked to you in probably 7 years.
Yeah, do you hear me?
I can
You hear
now.
me? Okay, good. Hey, yeah, I'm following you. You're still the man. I follow you. Are great. I want everybody to know that I've been part of Tom's crew, and I follow him around. I visit him in Nashville, and I still think you're one of the best speakers I've ever met, and you're the most inspiring person probably I've ever met. I want to let you know my little son, when I had met you, was now my big son, and he just got his 215. He just got his insurance license.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was with him. He's not there yet. He's got 2 more years of college, but he has a license. He's getting his 7 also.
Oh.
Um,
Why? Why?
well, because I pay you, like not, it pays the bills. But I definitely want my son to follow you as I have. You and Tom Hegna actually are my 2 favorite spokespeople, and I've seen you both live many times. Unfortunately, I can say personally, I'm saying in front of everybody, I don't care. My insurance business has went bad since COVID, and I would love to find a way to restart. It just died. I was doing seminars, I was getting clients, everything was going great, and COVID really kind of destroyed me. So that's when my AUM came back in. I was able to sit home and trade, which I still do, and make money. And obviously, I get a paycheck every month. No, I would love to step it up. Like I said, I follow you. I'm happy that my emails still come from you, and I'm happy to be here and listening to you. And you still look great, sound great. Is your son still with you? Your son still doing?
He's in the business, but when that company that we worked with blew up today.
I probably am not. In all truth, I'd love to, but I'm probably not. But I will be in the future. Like I said, I want to get if my son could make, but I will be in the future. I'll be coming to stuff from you. You'll meet my son. I want him to learn from the best, and I believe that's you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Charles Threet, are you on? Anybody else have a question? Remember, you're the buyer. This is your opportunity to pick and choose who you want to work with. Stop selling. My favorite quote is, the day you stop selling is the day your sales will triple. Dennis, you wanted to ask a question?
Yes, professional forum, is it still can we still get in that? Because I do want to go. We talked about it before.
Yes.
And I've been cleared from my doctor from my back, so I'm good.
Yep. So go to you want to put up that website too, David? theprofessionalsforum, plural.com.
Yeah, I got it.
Cynthia, you're going to come, right?
I'm not sure if I can make it, but I was just telling David I'm going to do everything I can just because I have a young child and child custody situation going on.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually just came from court. Right on time.
Oh God. Oh.
And then you heard me.
Oh,
Was I
believe
able
me,
to get
you're a lot
after?
better than court. Let me tell you that. Okay, don't put yourself down like that, Tom.
No, you're awesome.
Hopefully I got to change your mind a little bit about some stuff.
Got
Tim,
one more question.
Maurice. Oh, go ahead, Dennis. I interrupted
Well,
you. Go ahead.
That's okay. On the hotels with that professional forum, I'm gonna drive because I can get there probably in 8.5, 9 hours. Is that we can stay, the day before and the day after, correct?
Yes, just ask that you want the same rate before and after. Yeah. They'll do that.
Thanks.
You bet. John Helling. So I think, Charles, you are coming to the forum, correct? He doesn't have a camera or before. Thanks, Charles. We'll see you there then. All right, open question. David, if you want to go ahead and shut down
I have one quick question, sorry.
No, I want to shut off David's live feed and then you guys can. Thank you, David.